My brothers and sisters, each and every single one of us that is sitting here in life, that is sitting here right now, has a certain aim and goal in life. I don't care if you're a child or a senior. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, if you're a teen or even a full-grown adult. Whether you're educated or not, whether you are a business owner or punching in and out, each and every single one of us sitting here has a target and aim in their lives. And each and every single one of us that woke up this morning, woke up for a reason. No matter what stage you may find yourself in life, no matter how old you may be or what age you may be in your life, each and every single one of us has our eyes focused on something. We have our lens zooming in on something. We have our minds zeroing in on something. Let's take, for example, a person who just graduated. That person's focus may be on landing a good job, or at least getting their foot in the door. And then once you have your foot in the door, that person may think about pushing that door even wider open. And in the process of pushing that door open, opening other doors at the same time. For example, if you are a family person, your goal in life may be to provide the means for your children to attain a solid and well-rooted education. Your goal may be to bring them up and do their tarbiyah in such a way that they grow up to be strong and sober adults. If you are a senior in life, your goal may be to spend more and more time with your family, to help and advise others with their goals in life. Or your goal may be to travel as much as possible, to see the world. Even children, believe it or not, even children have daily and weekly goals in life. A child might have a goal in life to excel in Minecraft. That might be their whole goal in life at that stage. And by the way, that goal is shared by teens as well sometimes, to be able to excel in Minecraft. Having goals in life is not something abnormal or atypical. Heck, even my 3-year-old, I have a 3-year-old, his goal in life at this stage is to be able to reach the cookie jar. So having goals in life, setting goals in life is not something that is abnormal. And the fact of the matter is, you don't have to have one goal in life. You can have many goals at your stage in life all at the same time. You can have a wide array of targets and aims in front of you. And as the world changes around you, as the atmosphere reshapes around you, and as the circumstances in your life transform, your goals in life also transform and adapt to the situation that you are in, to the circumstances that revolve around you. You know, I spoke to you about that graduate, right? Who wants to land a good job or get their foot in the door. Well, they might also at that moment have the goal of getting married and settling down as well. To find someone to share those moments of moving on in life with. That person may also have a goal of establishing themselves so they can contribute and help out the folks who helped bring them up in the first place. A person being a husband may have goals and aims regarding their relationship with his wife, and vice versa. The same person may also be a father with a vision for his children. The same person may also be a son who has a plan for his parents. That same person may be an employer or an employee or a colleague. He might be a mentor, a professor, or someone in training. So as our life changes, as the atmosphere around us reshapes, our goals change, our visions change. And when our visions and our goals change, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we carry ourselves, it also changes. We set certain things to be a priority in our life. We concentrate on some things more than others. You decide in your life what to put on hold, what to put on the back burner, and you adapt to the situation. And we spend our whole life doing this. Whether we are in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. We spend our whole life setting goals, setting visions, and then doing what it takes to pursue those goals and visions in our life. Why? Why does each and every single one of us do this? Why do we set goals in the first place? Why does a human being, every single morning when he or she wakes up with the intention of pursuing their goals? Why is this? Because our goals, they reflect achievements. Our targets, they translate into accomplishments. And when we feel accomplished in life, when we feel that we have achieved something in life, that results in what? Happiness. It results in satisfaction. It results in joy, in contentment. We feel happy when we achieve a goal in life. This is why if you ever have the opportunity to listen to a life coach or a mentor, they share certain tricks on how to be happy in life, right? And one of the tricks that mentors and life coaches share is that along with the big picture goals in life, each and every single one of us should set little goals as well. Daily goals, weekly goals. Why? Because when we achieve little goals, it makes us what? Happy. When we are happy, we are driven and we are motivated to get to the next goal and the next goal and the next goal. And we have this constant drive and motivation for us to reach and achieve that big picture goal in our life. It serves as a motivation. And this is not something that life coaches teach, but this is a message that is reflected in many of the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ as well. The teachings of the Prophet ﷺ are full of examples and opportunities to gain immense rewards from the mere recitation of certain supplications. By small acts of worship that translate into mounds and heaps and mountains of rewards. That is there to drive us and to motivate us to keep on moving forward, to attain the bigger deed. For example, Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu shares that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever prays the morning prayer in jama'ah and then he sits remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until the sun comes out, and then he prays 2 rak'ah, كانت له كأجر حجة وعمرة. He receives the reward of a hajj or a umrah. A Hajj that you have to spend so much money and so much time for, and go through the sacrifice of spending that money and time, is all achieved in the matter of 30 to 40 minutes. This is to motivate us, to push us, to give us that drive to do the bigger deeds, to get to the bigger picture. And you know what the amazing thing is when I'm talking about goals? You know, obviously, not all of our goals are the same. Our goals are relative. For example, if someone has an achievement in life, if you have a certain goal, that what means a goal to you, it might mean doom and destruction for somebody else. Everything is relative in life. For example, if there's someone who is very skinny and bony, they want to what? They want to gain some weight and they want to bulk up. Right? So they start lifting weights, they start going to the gym, and every time that person stands on the scale and he sees that he has gained 1 pound, there's a huge smile on their face. And what do they say? Yes! Yes! I gained 1 pound. Because that person's goal is to gain weight. But if you take that same goal and apply it to someone, for example, myself. After a weekend of wedding parties and a weekend of eating, on Monday, if I were to stand on the scale and see that I have gained 1 pound, I would not be smiling. I would not be saying yes, but I would be saying, oh no. So each and every single one of us, our goals are relative. Someone might feel happy by getting extra hours in the week. Someone may be happy by getting overtime while someone might be, oh, I gotta work today. I have to make money today. So it's all relative. So as human beings, we are all driven by our goals because we see our happiness and contentment in those goals. We see satisfaction, to be happy. And who does not want to be happy? If you truly do not want to be happy, then there is something wrong in your head. You need to seek professional help or divine intervention. Each and every single one of us wants to be happy in our lives. And we make so many sacrifices and we work so hard to be happy at the end. For some people, happiness comes at the end of a class, at the end of a semester, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, or after every 2 weeks, depending on how your check is cut. For some people, that happiness comes at the end of the year. For some people, the happiness comes at the end of their life. Many of us who came to this country way back when, and the thousands of people who are still pouring into this country, are pouring into this country for what? To obtain a certain goal. For happiness. America. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Does that ring a bell? Sounds familiar? That is the Declaration of Independence. The pursuit of happiness. And the amazing, yet at the same time, the painful reality is that the human being will sacrifice their current happiness and live in decades of sadness with this promise of attaining the bigger happiness at the end. Let's be real. For many of us that came here decades ago, many of those people did not bring their parents with them. They did not bring their siblings with them. They did not bring their spouse and their children with them. They sacrificed the company of being amongst their parents and loved ones. They sacrificed the opportunity of building memories and making memories with their loved ones. And many people, they swallowed the tough pill of experiencing the death of their loved ones while they were here or anywhere else in the world to obtain their goal, to achieve their goal. There was no Skype back then. There was no Viber or WhatsApp back then. And if you go a little further back, having a phone was a novelty and was very expensive. And you might have had access here, but your family probably didn't have access back home. All of these sacrifices were made for what? To attain a goal that will generate happiness, but at the price of many sacrifices and sadness. But this is the rule of the world. This is how things work. No pain, no gain. Sacrifices were made for deen as well. Sacrifices are made for everything. Ask a mother, ask a woman, what is the happiest thing for her to achieve in her life? And they will say, motherhood. For a woman to turn into a mother is the biggest happiness that female can experience. But it's still called labor pain. It's still called labor pain. Now here is where the khutbah will take a turn. There is no doubt that we seek our happiness in achieving goals. And when we look at the reality of the world around us, with all the achievements and all the accomplishments, the sad reality is that you will bump into people who are so accomplished and so achieved in life, but they are still not happy. They are still hustling. They are still bustling. They have so much, but they are still not happy. One of the reasons behind that is every time a goal is achieved, they set the bar higher and higher and higher and higher. And sometimes raising that bar is self-motivated. But many times when a person achieves something and continues to raise the bar, that is not motivated by a person's self. That is motivated and driven by the society around that person, by media, by what they see, by what shaitan feeds into their ears, into their eyes, into their minds, and into their heart. Shaitan defines what success and happiness is. He defines it for people to be in fame, fortune, glamour, glitter, power, position. And he feeds this to the human being. This definition of happiness, of the good life. But believe it or not, my brothers and sisters, whether you take heed from the Quran, whether you take lesson from the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, or you learn it the hard way, or you have lived life long enough to finally understand that happiness is not in money, happiness is not in fame or fortune. By that time it gets very late and you cannot undo time. You cannot turn back the hands of time. I shared with you many stages of a person's life. The different goals that we set at those different stages. We may be a son, a father, a brother, a husband, or the sisters might be a wife, a daughter, a mother. No matter what stage you find yourself in life, the one role that we play in life for certain that trumps and eclipses any role that we could play is the role that we have to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as being His makhluk, as being His creation, as being His abd. by being subservient to the one who sustains us, to the one who maintains us, to the one who has created us, the one we put our heads on the ground towards, the one we bow down towards, the one we prostrate towards. We have all made a covenant, a commitment and a promise with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to recognize Him, to acknowledge Him, to serve Him, and to use our body, our mind, our talents to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have an ahd with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah An-Nahl, وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. Do not sell your covenant. The covenant that you have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't sell this off for a few bucks. ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. إِنَّمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ هُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Indeed, what Allah has in store for you is better, only if you would realize. مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدُ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. Whatever is with you will be exhausted. Beauty will fade away. Health will decline. Properties will depreciate. Our talents will become restricted and limited. And eventually everything that we strived for, all the goals we set in life, everything that we have achieved will disappear before our eyes. Tell me if you have ever seen a Penske truck follow a hearse to the cemetery. مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدُ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. What Allah has in store for us is there for eternity. وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّ الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And we will surely reward those people who were strong, who were patient, who stayed steadfast. We will reward them for the good that they have done. مَنْ عَمِلَ صَالِحًا مِنْ ذَكَرٍ أَوْ أُنْثَى وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ. Whoever has done good, amalus salih. This concept of good, it encompasses everything in our life. Being good to our parents, being good to our families, to our spouse, to our neighbors, to society, being good to the environment, being a good citizen, respecting and honoring ourselves and everyone around us. And to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to do everything that pleases Him, to stay away from everything that displeases Him. All of this is encompassed in the concept of amalus salih, wa huwa mu'min. But you gotta have faith. You gotta believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? When you have faith and you back up that faith with what that faith requires, فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. If you are familiar with the Arabic language, there is intense emphasis in this. Allah did not say فَنُحْيِيهِ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. We will indeed, you have a doubt? No doubt at all, for sure, we will give him the good life. The good life that each and every single one of us is here to pursue. Allah will give us that. Mufassirin explain, what is the good life? The life of happiness and joy, the life of contentment and qana'ah, the life of satisfaction, and then the good life in the hereafter. The true life. Laissez les bons temps rouler. Let the good times roll. That is our carnival. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to live a life that will help us pursue the true happiness in this world and in the hereafter. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.